and welcome to the Guam Education Board's regular meeting for Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. We're going to begin at this time, and I'd like to first of all take note of the fact that our meetings were properly announced in all of the required locations that are specified by law and by custom. And we have copies of the verification of the announcements in the print media, also circulated in the other platforms that we are obligated to provide information for. The meeting agenda today is quite long. We will have public participation at the end of the meeting. But at this time, I would like to ask our superintendent to please take roll call.
Ada Peter,
Present.
Gutierrez Maria,
Present.
McNitch Ron,
Here.
Sablon Angel, Torres Carl, Okada Mary,
Here.
Gutherts Judith,
Present.
Cohen Diego for IBOGS representative on Zoom.
Present.
Thank you. Fidenco Timothy,
Running late.
present?
Running late. Running late.
Oh, running late, okay. Brian Terlahi, Mayor. Okay. Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monpat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our consent calendar, and there are 3 sets of minutes needing approval. The minutes for March 17th, 2026, the meeting for February 12th, 2006, and the meeting from January 27th, 2026. Do I hear any motion?
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve. Do you want all of it? Okay, the March 17, 2026 regular board meeting, February 12, 2026 special meeting, and January 27, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
Thank you very much, Board Member Gutierrez. Excellent. And now we're into communications. Correspondence
Second.
received.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. There's that second motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion passed. We're into communications, correspondence received by the board after March 17th, 2026. Are there any correspondence? None?
Oh, no.
Under communications, though, I do have an item I'd like to bring to the attention of the board members and our superintendent, our management team, just to recognize for the record that we have received, through myself, a report that was done at the Harvard School of Education by students, including 2 students from Guam, pursuing doctoral degrees in education. And this project involved evaluating our high school program at the Guam Department of Education. And the students worked on this project for about a year, and they completed their report in December of 2026. And I have prepared copies for dissemination to all of our board members and to our superintendent and to our management team. This was at no cost to us sharing this information. It's really a wonderful report. It really gives us some good insight, another viewpoint on our high school program. And I'd like to encourage all the board members to please read the report. Some of you may have been interviewed for the report. I know I was. But I also would like to ask the management team, led by our superintendent, to consider the report as useful information that may be of help to you as you try to update the curriculum or make some adjustments in the senior education level of our school system, the high school level. I also want to thank the students from Guam that participated in developing this report, and Harvard University for working with the students and working with some of us who contributed our viewpoints when we were interviewed for the report. And also I'd like to invite the media, if the media would like a copy of the report, please contact Kat, our assistant, and she'll be happy to provide a copy to you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like the report to be on record as part of our official records. Any objection? Can you please pass it out, Kat? Thank you.
Madam Chair, I did receive a call from, I need to see the name of the student, but I believe we have a student from here that participated.
Yes, we do.
I believe it's one of the
The name is on the
IBOGS.
front of the first
Okay,
page.
thank you,
Next
but I'm
page.
gonna look there, because I think one of the IBOGS was involved in that. No, there's another one.
Well, they may have been interviewed,
Yeah.
students may have been
Yes.
interviewed in high school.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say that we did receive an email from a student at GW who was inquiring about the side road to be paved. So she's been communicating with the Lieutenant Governor and myself, and she had asked if I could confirm that the road will be paved on April 17. And I had confirmed that with the Lieutenant Governor and Public Works. And on the 17th, they were there actually doing the work. So that's complete. The other communication that came in was addressed to you from the Office of the Attorney General, basically listing exactly what it is that they want us to do, which in preparation for tonight's meeting, to make sure that we follow everything before they're going to sign off on my contract. So what it is the announcement following the open government law for 5 days, and then also 3 days, making sure it's on our website, that is also in the public portal. In addition, that we will put it in our agenda and make it as specific as we can, so they'll be able to see that. And lastly, of course, that once we confirm again a vote, that we would submit all the documents, including the minutes of today's meeting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Superintendent. And also I'd like to thank the Attorney General's office for working with the school system and with the board to resolve any concerns that his office may have had. We're happy to do this today, and we'll be doing this later in the agenda when we need to take action under unfinished business and committee reports. Thank you, Superintendent. Yes.
Madam Chair, because the student that was put in this report happened to be Cohen Diego, the chairman of the IBOGS, and he's the one on Zoom today. So that's Cohen Diego on this report. Congratulations, Cohen.
Good work. Thank you very much. Yes.
It's on.
The issue of Dr. Wonka's contract, we've been waiting for this for a long, long time. With the indulgence of the board members, I'd like to request if we can take action on this right away, right now.
So you want to readjust the schedule?
Adjust it, we need to take care of
I'm
this.
sure there's no objection. So we're gonna reorder for this moment, the meeting agenda. We're gonna move up section B, from section B. We're gonna move that up now, and we're gonna consider the actions that are needed under the executive committee, which includes the second amended employment agreement for Dr. Judith Wonkat as superintendent of the Guam Department of Education, inclusive of the contract amount the four-year contract action, and also the material change on the indemnification and the minor change that had occurred on the signature block. So with all your support, we can begin this process with the first item.
Before you do that, can I
Yes.
have our attorney, Matt Wolf, kind of briefly discuss this, because he's been communicating directly with the
Thank you.
AG.
You can do that. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And Dr. Wonpat said a lot of what I was about to say, but I just want to make the record and say it all at once before the board votes. So yes, I was contacted several weeks ago by Assistant Attorney General Lee Miller, and he basically said he wanted more specificity to comply with open government law. We were happy to do that. He wanted three main things. He wanted the ballpark amount of the contract so that the public knows how much of their money we're spending, which is fine. He wanted a mention of the material change, and like you said, that was the indemnification clause. And he also the non-material change, which was basically changing out Mr. Sablon's name for your name, Ms. Guthertz. And the lastly was the 4-year term. So he wanted those specifics in there, and we were happy to comply with that. So we complied by putting in the newspaper and by uploading all this information to our GDOE website, which we always use for such information. Now, after Assistant Attorney General Dave Rivera sent us another communication about the open government law, we decided to give even more specificity, not just in these multiple uploads that the public can access, including the reviewable contract, but also in the agenda itself. Because before we were just uploading this information to the packet, which was available on our website, but now we were putting it explicitly into the agenda, which helps. And so we agreed to do that, which we did for today. And at Assistant Attorney General Dave Rivera's guidance, we decided to upload that specifically to the website and the GovGuam notice portal, specific website for this particular information, and in addition to our GDOE website, which we have been doing this whole time. So we have done that for the 5 and the 2 or 3 day notice. Actually, we did it even earlier, around 7 days, just to make sure we gave public notice, which means that this meeting today is properly noticed under the open government law, like you said in the very beginning. Thank you. And we also, just like the last meeting, we have hard copies of Dr. Wonpat's proposed contract in the front for anyone who wants to review before the board votes. And so I would recommend to the board that they specifically adopt the proposed unsigned contract, and also that the parties sign it today during the meeting, during this properly noticed meeting. And what that would do is that would make sure that not just the notice is proper, but that the signatures themselves will be valid.
Thank you, Attorney. So with these changes and actions, we will be in full compliance with the requirements of the open government law.
Yes, that is my understanding of, and my review based on the 2 Assistant Attorney General's guidance, yes.
All right, very good. Any more comments? If
I do.
none, then let us speak.
I do.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wolf, Attorney Wolf, for the information. And rather than prolonging, let us, I hope that the chairperson would take the vote as one rather than each specified, so that it's in compliance with the recommendation of the Attorney General's office.
Sure, yeah.
And
That's it.
that would meet the requirements of the law, correct?
If they take the vote, you mean all-inclusive,
All
not just on
items
each
at
issue?
one time.
Yes, that will work.
But let me then go through the items that we're talking. Yes, I'm sorry.
Attorney Matt, can you please clarify, because the 4-year contract based on the proposed unsigned contract starts January 1st. So is the board retroactively approving, or is it going forward?
Well, I mean, the statute says that the superintendent's contract will be 4 years, shall be 4 years, and it's our interpretation that that does not exclude an acting superintendent. So superintendent, the description of it in the statute encompasses acting, which means that she's already been serving that. And if we wanted to, we could, I mean, we could address this later, but we just want to get her, you know, her actual contract through. But we could always massage the term later if, again, the Attorney General's office and the governor agree. But yes, she's already started.
Okay, all right.
I have a question.
Yes,
Attorney Wolf, is it your interpretation that once this contract is released by the Office of Attorney General with his approval and it goes to the governor for her signature, does it really require the signature of the Attorney General and the governor to consummate this contract?
I'm not really going to definitively comment on that because I believe that is a subject of ongoing litigation. So I'll reserve comments on that. But of course, it's all debatable.
I raised that question because if it takes another 30 days, 60 days before these signatures are obtained, then she's still acting. I think it behooves us as a board, Madam Chair, to get the answer. Does it really require their signature? Because I was in a meeting with Dr. Wampat when we were told that the board has that authority to appoint the superintendent of education and does not require those signatures. So I'm just putting that out because we're talking about time here, and time is of the essence. The school year is going to close. And so we need some finality to this thing. I'm sure Dr. Wampat wants to know. The other question is, as you brought it up earlier, or as Madam Vice Chair brought up earlier, is she started as an acting on December 31st, which encompasses when we picked her up as the superintendent. She's been on a salary that is not the salary that this board approved. So that's going to raise another question. Is what do we do with that? So those are the two questions I want answered is, do we need to, and then do we have to pay her back to January 1st, even though it hasn't been signed? Those have to be answered. Thank you.
thank you. That's a very good question. My suggestion is that we approve the changes now and we sign the document now. And if there's any questions that are derived after that, we will deal with those. But I want to sign this now, and I'd like the board to endorse it now. And if it becomes a question, then we will have our legal team assist us in resolving any differences of opinion. That would be my response. Well, we hope not. We don't want to have anything like that. Yes.
Okay, so I move that we accept the proposed unsigned contract between Dr. Judith Wampat as Superintendent of the Guam Department of Education and the Guam Department of Education Board at a salary of $210,000 plus benefits for a 4-year contract, and also recognizing the material change in the contract of the indemnification and the minor change on the signature replacing Mr. Angel Sablan's signature with Dr. Judith Guffords.
Thank you for that motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I know it's just, but can we put an effective date?
Based on this contract, we are accepting the proposed unsigned contract for the officially for officially beginning the superintendent's term on January 1st, 2026. And it's a 4-year term that expires in December 31st, 2029. So with that amendment, that's my revised motion.
All right, so there's a second to the motion. All right, we're going to take a vote now. All those in favor of the motion, please say yes by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously by those present. And we'd like to thank our superintendent for her patience with this. She's been very, very patient in resolving these issues. And we also want to thank the Attorney General's office for his cooperation. Would you like to say anything? Legal counsel, I'm going to sign right now. The document. Is this where it is? All right, so we have our legal counsel observing this also. I'm going to sign, Judith, would you like to sign first? Please. And I'll sign on behalf of the board. Yes. April 28th, 2026. Okay, it's all signed. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Montak, for your third time.
Oh, yeah. And the patience.
Yes.
Mr. Torres.
I'm sure everyone involved in this process means well, and we always want to do things right, and I think one thing we can learn from this,
Oh, sorry.
we have to be very certain.
Microphone,
we have a checklist
Microphone,
that we're
please.
following regularly, so we don't make any mistakes, ever. Thank you very much. Thank you, Attorney, for your help. All right, we're going to continue, and all right, regular order, and we're with Ex-Officio member reports, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, please.
Madam Chair,
Me too.
yes, since we're already on that committee, can we just finish that?
Oh, I'm sorry, adjustment of meeting times
Mike,
and
please.
item order for the Guam Education Board. This is on the meeting times and item order for the Guam Education Board.
3 p.m.
Oh, yes, the board has discussed this matter. And, you know, we've been experiencing very, very long meetings. That brings us into the night. And we had a recommendation to reconsider our starting time. And the board unanimously agreed. I would like to start our meetings a little earlier. So our meeting time would be 3 p.m. For regular board meetings. And we would conduct our committee meetings at times specified by the various committees. Is there any comment or any further discussion? Yes.
I'm in agreement with what is being considered. However, as you said, our meetings are rather very, very long. I'm wondering how the board members may feel if we separate what's information, what's action to be taken. If we have to have two separate meetings, then so be it. But this meeting is just too long. Yeah.
I'm looking at the agenda myself, and I would be conferring with the superintendent and the board members to look at the different possible options. And so we'll have something for discussion for next meeting. But at this time, I'd like to endorse this as our starting time at 3:00. And if we're going to make changes later, we will consider that as necessary. Thank you very much, Mr. Adams. Yes.
I agree, we should start at 3:00. And I know that when we had a discussion before, and this is before you came in, that the meeting should not be more than 2.5 hours. And also we need to consider the employees that are here to make presentation, because they're here early in the morning, and that we would like them to go home by 5:00 or no later than 5:30, because they come back and work the next day. Especially Dr. Wampat and her management team, they're not here at 8:00, they're here at 5:00 in the morning. So I would like to, have that consideration for them. They don't go home. I know after the meetings, they go upstairs. I understand they have a sign there that says time to go home or time to eat. So we need to to make sure that we consider that. And even if we had an employee that needed to come and do a presentation. So for me, it should start at 3 and it shouldn't end more than 5:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gutierrez. Another thing, just if I may add, is that, as you know, we reordered the public participation to later in the agenda, so that those who wish to come and speak to the board during public participation will not have to leave work or leave their classes to address this board. Because if it's later in the day, then they will no longer be in class, and many no longer will be at work, so they'll be able to come and participate also. So that's another consideration.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can we limit the public participation to 3 minutes rather than?
Yes,
5?
that has been suggested, and
Yeah.
we'll try to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll try to do that. Although today we're going to have quite a long public participation session, and also we're going to have awards for our students and faculty, and for different accomplishments. And then it's going to take a while. It's a very thick group
Madam
of
Chair,
awardees.
did the student who excelled in the spelling bee?
I'm
is
not sure.
included?
Yes, they're part of this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're part of this group coming in. And a lot of our ROTC cadets also be part of this group tonight. All right, we'll continue. Yes,
Motion,
thank you very much.
motion,
So let's go to the motion
Motion.
on this matter, on the meeting time and order of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Wampat. I have to hold this thing. I'm thinking of holding this or holding the sandwich. I'm not sure which one. Okay. All right. Then let's go back. Let's do C to get that done, since we're already in this area. C is Instructional and Academic Support Committee, April Head Start report. Yes.
Sorry, I'm not used to going so early.
I would like to, if you could please, because I know that 2 other ex-officials not here, but my IBOGS ex-officio is online. And I think he has also school activities that he needs to attend to. So if you could just go back to the Islandwide Public Students Report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on a minute, Head Start. Just hold right.
Yes, thank you so much, Mrs. G. So hello, my name is Juan Diego, the IBOGS chairman, and our report is as follows. The graduation dates, all public schools will be graduating at the University of Guam Fieldhouse. Simon Sanchez is graduating on May 26th, Ukuru on May 28th, Tiyan on May 30th, JFK on June 2nd, Southern on June 4th, and GW on June 6th. I highly encourage all board members to accept their invites to these events and show up to support the graduating class of 2026. Our next item is the drafted board policy 705. Recommended updates were provided to the IBOGS by Mrs. G, and we've discussed our feedback through the meeting. We have also reviewed draft SOP 1719, local school wellness operations, 2, number, frequency, and length of fundraising activities. On behalf of the IBOGS, I want to thank you for not removing our ability to fundraise for all of our school activities. And lastly, the student off-island travel procedures were shared with the IBOGS and also discussed in our online meeting. This concludes the IBOGS report for Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you kindly also. It was a very good report. Thank you. We will now move over to the EducationGuam presentation. Thank you.
Hi. So I just wanted to highlight, since everybody had received the report, highlight some of the updates and changes. So for our grant application status for fiscal year 23, all of the reports that were needed by Office of Head Start have been received. Part of the, I guess, kind of confusion with it is that in October 2025, HHS had switched over had changed the federal regulations that they're following. So we switched from 45 CFR 75 to 2 CFR 100 or 200. And during that time that Office of Head Start was closed, all of those guidances were not transmitted to us. So as we were submitting reports, they were telling us, oh, well, this was changed, this was changed. So during today's meeting, they provided me with the overview of those changes. So now, hopefully there won't be as much confusion. They have also scheduled a fiscal webinar series and an in-person institute in the summer. So I had shared the information with our accountant, the accounting supervisor, and the comptroller. And hopefully we can all attend those webinars and then be on the same page with what those requirements are. So regardless, the reports to Office of Head Start have been submitted for FY23. That will enable them to close that year out. For FY24, we've submitted it. They have given us guidance that with the new regulations, the guidance for carryover funds is different. So in the past, we could request to carry over any unexpended funds for the current year. And to the best of my knowledge, it was always approved. Now they're saying that it can only be carried over if it was already encumbered in a purchase order. That means that the bulk of FY24 funds will not be able to carry over. Instead, they said for anything that was an unfulfilled purchase order, we can request a liquidation extension. And so that's going to be for that. And that's what I had put in a request for approval on. For fiscal year 25, which is our current grant year, we just had this last pay period, we had the last of our permanent hires finish their first full pay period. And so with that, our accountant provided us with the projection of the remaining salaries and benefits till the end of the grant year. And that is because we still have several unfilled vacancies, right? But at this point, it looks like we're going to have, let me look at my exact number, from pay period ending 4/19 to 6/30, 2026, we will have $608,995.35 in unexpended salaries and benefits. So we're working on a budget revision for that. The priority is health and safety for us. And, we recently renovated our playgrounds, but half of them we've already noted that the fall protection is not as bouncy as it was before. When we had our TNTA people here, when we had our on-site federal review, they also noted that. And so we are obtaining the quotes right now to see how much it'll cost to replace the fall protection surface. And then we're also looking at anything that needs to be, although we didn't experience any major damage with the recent Sinlaku in our facilities, there were some things that need to be replaced, right? Like ceiling tiles, we lost some outdoor sheds. A lot of the carpets got wet, and so we might need to replace those. Office of Head Start today told us that we do not need to find that within the budget, that we can request for additional funds for that purpose. So anything related to the storm, we can request additional funds for that. They did return our continuation application because of some fiscal clarifications. So for example, in the past, our cost allocation submission to them only stated the audit, but now they're wanting to know what other aspects the grantee pays for. And that would be like our utilities, like having the business office doing and procurement doing those kinds of things. So they have submitted a request for TNTA for us to help guide us on the new federal regulations. And hopefully that will be able to start soon. But what she has said to me today was that we can clarify all of the questions she gave us. It will not affect the effective date of our grant application and our funding. And they'll work with us on making sure that we understand all of the different regulations before the next grant application period. Let's see. And then the other update was that I wanted to let you know we still have our staff vacancies that we reported last time. None of those have been filled. I spoke to HR and they are reviewing the applications to evaluate them. And for the clerk 3 and the assistant Head Start program director, those are still being routed for approval. And then lastly, I wanted to just give you a Sinlaku update on our families. So first of all, as I said, there's no major damages to our facilities. We did pivot to provide the learning packets and provide the meals, as did the other schools that were closed. Sinlaku will affect our operational required instructional hours and days. So our half-day centers are required to do 160 instructional days. Our full-day centers are required to do 1,020 instructional hours. In our calendar, we always build in extra for makeup, but with the extension of the Sinlaku period, we're gonna fall short. And so Office of Head Start said it's not a problem, we just need to submit a request for waiver, just to say because of the storm, please waive this duration requirement. And it's just a formality. She said it's gonna not be an issue for us this year. We were able to do a wellness check on all of our enrolled families. So that's 413 families, 447 children. We reached out to every single one of them and determined that everyone was okay, but there are 6 families that suffered major damage because of broken windows or like their tin roofs on their homes flying away. So we have connected those families with support services in the community, and we continue to follow up on anything that they need.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Yes, please.
Ms. Bldg,
Yes.
the ending of your report, you mentioned about families, in some cases, had to relocate because of their damage to their homes. But are they still to attend school or Head Start at the location in which, prior to the storm?
Yes, so none of them have had to change their school district. The majority of them, so there are 6 that said they experienced major damage. 4 families are back in their homes. They have said that it's livable, that they're making the repairs. 2 of them are staying with family or friends, and they're still within the same district. We haven't had to move them.
Question number 2, and this is a question that's very familiar to you, that I've asked many times in recent times. Are you involved in the meetings with the discussion of school changes, closure? I asked the question specifically because if you have a school that has Head Start, and that school is in the intent to close, how does that affect? We don't want you to be spending money when the word gets to you that they're closing that particular school?
So since the last time you asked, we have not had any meetings, but we fall under Deputy Liwag, and she is aware that we've requested to be part of those discussions. Speaking of the closures, with the change in scope application, we are still waiting for the final decision on the centers that will be closed. I had met with Deputy Kittigwa and Deputy Liwag, and prior to the storm, they were going to meet with those principals, and then the storm kind of threw us off. So hopefully they'll be rescheduling that soon, and then we'll be able to submit that application. But with the future potential closures that the superintendent is considering, I have made Dr. Liwag know that we would like to be included, and she's here. She heard you say it. So.
Any other questions? Yes, please.
Regarding the closure, because I know that there's some enrollment that are really low, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But would this be just like the Chief Brody? They had a head start there, and then those students were, I guess, were sent out to GM Guerrero, which is the closest, and I don't know where's the other in Crispin Garden, but enrollment continues to go down.
So with Chief Brody, those children were placed within Tamuning and Jam Guerrero following the redistricting of the department. With the Head Start closures, it would be different because we're not closing the school, only the Head Start classroom. So we've already had internal discussions about, for example, if they live in this village and we're closing it in that school, where might they be able to go to? However, the guidance we got from Office of Head Start also says that they will not consider it if we do not, they will not approve it if we do not make plans for any current Head Start children who are returning next year. So depending on your age, you can qualify to stay in Head Start for 2 years. So let's say we're gonna close, let's say Chief Brody was still there, right? If we were gonna close Chief Brody, but there's a child that's eligible for next year, what's the plan for that child? And so that's my discussions with Deputy Kittigwa and Deputy Liwag is there another preschool program that we can consider putting there? And then making the returning Head Start children a priority for next year so that we can explain to Office of Head Start that they are prioritized, they will still receive services. If the parents aren't willing to transport to the neighboring school that we have identified to put them in.
Okay, and one of your report is, well, I'm concerned about the cancellation of classes because due to staff absences. Is that a high rate?
So because we've had so many, we still have so many vacancies for teachers and aides. Our central office, we have received the same training, right? So mandated reporter, active supervision, all of that stuff. So we are the substitutes because there are no on-call substitutes for Head Start at this point. And so closing the class, canceling class is always last minute. But if there is no teacher, so our education coordinators are still certified teachers. So they go out and cover, our mentor teachers will cover. We have a couple of our central office staff that, you know, as they were going through school, they thought they might want to be a teacher, so they meet the staff qualifications. We put them in first before we cancel classes. But at the end of the day, if there's no one who meets the teacher qualifications, we've had to cancel those classes.
Yeah, I'm concerned of your March 12, 2025, I guess 2026, there are 5 schools that had to close because there was no substitute.
Right.
Okay, I'm just, you know, it's a
And it's
concern,
just-
especially that, do the parents get to know ahead of time?
So as soon as the teacher tells us that she will not be in, we start trying to find who we can put there. But once we realize that there's no other teacher, we notify the parents right away. Unfortunately, a lot of times the teacher wakes up thinking she can go to school, but she just feels too sick. And then those are last minute closures. But in that case, we go to the school, we're there in case the kids get put on the bus to ensure that they're able to go home. So we'll call the parents or we'll transport if we need to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harrison. Any other comments? Thank you very much for participating in the meeting today. Thank you. we have a motion? Do I hear a motion?
So I move that we request approval to extend the liquidation period for this grant year to June 29, 2026, and also request approval for the initial under enrollment action plan and the proposed strategies.
Second? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposing? Motion passes, ladies and gentlemen, for those two items. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much. Okay, we're on, number C of our section. And, this is regarding the resolution 202604 relative to supporting the Guam Department of Education Chamorro Language and Cultural Immersion Program. I'd like to request that our superintendent first give us a little background here and let us know what our plans are for the program and how our resolution might be helpful.
Thank you very much. Jimmy Terrier, of course, being division head, and Dr. Lewick has been working closely, and also with the principal from PC. So one of the things that we had to do was a cost analysis, first of all, because I know the initial request was for the use of LBJ. And just to give you an idea, so we looked at the budget, and for two schools in particular that are close in size of LBJ. So if you take LBJ, their budget is $2.8 million. You take Inalahan Elementary School is $2.7 million. And the budget request by Finijakan is $2.6 million. LBJ's total number of students was 220. Inalahan Elementary School, 194. Finijakan is 58. The FTEs at LBJ is 28. And for Inalahan Elementary School is 26. And Finijakan is looking at 20. What has brought the dollar amount that high is because they're requesting, in addition for the 6 teachers that they currently have, they're requesting for a school principal, they're requesting for 3 more teacher positions, 4 school aides, a counselor, a health counselor, a computer operator, 3 more Chamorro language substitute teachers, bringing that dollar amount out to 2.6. Aside from that, then we asked F&M to go to the site to look also at the facility. And according to facilities and maintenance, the guys came back reporting that there's a lot of work to be done. There's some tiles on the floor that needs to be replaced. The toilets, of course, for the kinder first could remain, but for the other children in the higher elementary grade levels would have to be converted to standard size toilets and sinks. So in essence, they have estimated that it could go upwards closer really to about $1 million to go in to do a lot of renovation at the school. In addition to that, there is the cost to consider, which will be for utilities, food, grounds maintenance, and custodial contract also are close to, they're over already $500,000 for that. So in the discussion, they've gone back to PC Hani to find out whether they could still fit there. The principal said that the numbers were not increasing as she thought from the new housing area, and that the 6 classrooms that she had reserved for Finijakan are still available for them to use. So they're looking at pre-K to 6th grade, although 6 is really for the middle school, but we're allowing that the children then continue on, but definitely not the bigger, large kids from the middle school to be at an elementary school. We've allowed them to proceed with registering children for the pre-K programs, and that's ongoing. As a matter of fact, they should be registering any of the parents who would be interested in having their children attend. Will start in February. The classroom sizes that we were looking at were really as small as 2 students per teacher, and the highest would be about, I think, 15 students. So they're going to arrange that there be combo classes so that you won't have one teacher for one student, or one for 15 is workable, but definitely not anywhere between 5 or 2 students. The concern that we were getting from a lot of our Chamorro language teachers, this is the mandated program, because they actually have students per day up in over 130, even 180 students per day, versus, of course, the students, the teachers with the students that they have in the Filijakan program will be anywhere between, like they say, some are 2, up to about 15 per day. I checked with the University of Guam to see their program, whether they are able to graduate more Chamorro teachers, because we not only need them should Filijakan, the goal is to expand to middle and high school to see the availability of Chamorro language teachers, because we currently have 3 vacancies in our own school system that we can't recruit. The response was that they don't have any that will be graduating this year, and they're not even sure about next year. So the best decision right now, based on our preliminary or informal meeting with the Ways and Means chairperson, has told us basically is that we're not going to get the budget request of $307 million, and that we're looking at status quo. And by doing so, then that means then that I cannot put in this request of $2.6 million, even above what we're currently being considered to be given for the next school year. So the decision basically has been made is that the program will continue full force at BC Lujan. An MU was drafted by the school principal, signed by the principal, and also by the division head of the Chamorro language program. That's it.
Any questions for Dr. Wonkat? So Dr. Wonkat, are you recommending that we act on the resolution?
Well, what a member had asked, and I believe Dr. Liwak is here, that there is language on the resolution, definitely is to continue to always consider, of course, adequate space and facility for the Filijakan program. So our recommendation is that, yes, they continue at the same school. We're working definitely closely with Jimmy as well, because we want to figure out a way to recruit, not only to recruit more teachers, but there's been a request from other parents in the other sections of the island in the south where they would like their children to participate, but they cannot come up to the central for that. I know there was a resolution in which there was a support to be able to possibly start always with 1 grade in the different regions. And that is something that we would like to do, but it would be totally dependent on our budget. So currently it would be status quo.
Right, so we have a resolution here that references the perspective and the comments provided by the superintendent. And I'd like to entertain a motion to pass the resolution. Any motion? Yes.
So I'll move to approve resolution number 2026-04.
The only reason why I don't have it is because we've asked Jimmy to translate it, and it hasn't been translated yet into Chamorro.
Yeah, so I have questions, but I'll wait. I'll put the motion on and then I'll bring my question up during discussion. So resolute to pass, to approve resolution 2026-04.
Do I have a second to the resolution? Give Mary an opportunity to comment. Do you have a second? Juan, you gonna take a second? Yes. Thank you. Yes, Dr.
So during the instructional and academic support committee meeting, there was a conversation about the certification that we asked to be included in this resolution. It's not here.
Yes, if I may, Superintendent. Yes, we did consider about the resolution to, for the teacher certification to be included in the resolution. However, we made a decision that we would need more time to take a look at it and include it in the other resolution that we may be requested or recommended in the future, if that is okay with the board.
So you're working on a new proposal for the certification matter? But you're not ready yet to
No,
present?
yes, we had a discussion about this, and the concern was that one is they wanted to look at and meet actually with the certification office because they are having difficulty recruiting. And they want to make sure that by including the language of certification would not hold back the FEMA program. So we wanted to do a separate resolution just to speak about certification.
That makes sense. Yes.
Madam Chair. So this resolution is not the same resolution that we adopted two meetings ago.
There's a difference.
So don't we have to dispose of that resolution because it was adopted?
We can't.
And if it's not going to go forward, we have to have it repealed or rescinded because now we're entertaining a new resolution and we're not going to have two resolutions opposing each other.
I agree.
From this board.
We need a motion.
But that resolution that was passed 2 meetings ago was endorsed by the Binijakan, tomorrow, Mr. Tiyan. Now, it's my understanding that with Deputy Superintendent Liwai and Mr. Tiyan, they've agreed to come up with this new MOA and this resolution that would make the first resolution moot because we don't need that anymore. So before we act on this resolution, I think we should
So I will
rescind or dispense of that.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to recall the initial resolution relative to the Education Chamorro Language and Culture Immersion Program, because we have a different resolution we would like to use at this time in order to help the program and continue its expansion. Is there a motion to recall the first resolution? So moved. Thank you, Mr. Abbott. Is there a second to the motion? Thank you. Ron? There's a second to the motion. On the motion, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Well, we need a discussion first.
Oh, you want to discuss it? Okay, please. Sorry.
And so the motion is to rescind. I don't have the actual number of it, but if it's Mr. Terrier's decision to no longer go forward with asking for LBJ as the Finizakan tomorrow site, and he has agreed to continue at PC Lujan because they've gotten assurances that they'll be given the space and the support, and through the cooperation between him and Deputy Superintendent Liwak, that this is the route we're going to take. I know that Superintendent mentioned that there was a board member that asked that we include something in this resolution And that was me. I want this resolution to be a win-win. I know that Finisak and tomorrow will not just stay stagnant. It will continue to increase in terms of having more students and all that. I just want this, Madam Superintendent, through your DFAS, to include in that resolution, and maybe there has to be a motion, to include that we will always continue to find an opportunity, should it come about, to support Finisak and if it increases in size, in need, and in support, so that we don't want them to feel that we're leaving them behind.
No, I
So that
think,
is my recommendation, that we add it to this resolution, so it's a win-win.
we can do that. We can add that language to the resolution as asked by Mr. Blanche.
So moved, so I move that
Thank
that
you.
language be added on.
Thank you. Is there a second to that? Thank you, Dr. McNinch. Is there any opposition to that? I don't think so. Very good. Yes. sorry.
Okay, and speaking to it, when that meeting took place, there were a lot of people there at JFK in support of that resolution. I'm just trying to get, this wasn't on the agenda, and now you're removing a resolution that was attended by 30, 40 people with signs. Would it be prudent to table it and then put it on the agenda so those people can react to that resolution? Because there were a lot of stakeholders at that meeting. I don't know, I'm just a point of concern.
Let me ask the superintendent her comments on that.
I want to make sure that you're talking about, when you're saying JFK, but it was
It
here.
was at JFK, they moved it around, it was like this something. Yeah, that's what you're. Yeah.
But,
Was it, okay, so I mean, I could be wrong.
right, I wasn't, so, no,
You weren't there.
yeah, you're right, yeah, so I'm not familiar with it.
But there were a lot of people in the audience that were pretty passionate about it.
Well, when we spoke to Jimmy last week about this, and, and he acknowledged, even in the work session that we had with the board a couple of days ago, that he acknowledged that, he has entered into this MOU, this agreement with the principal at PC Lohan to continue with the program because they needed space and she's providing the space. He did say that this nonprofit organization, of course, are dead set in trying to acquire LBJ, as the facility. But as we indicated yesterday when we did a cost analysis, is that it's just, beyond our reach, and definitely we can't add it on to our budget, knowing that we're going to be at a status quo budget. So should I add that, what would I cut back? I cut like 2.6 million. So you're right. So, you're right. Sure, we can do that and have everybody in, but honestly, at this point in time, it will not change the decision of the department, because we're looking at capacity of all of our schools, and yes, granted, we have underutilized schools, but we're also looking at those, to let you know, those decommissioned schools as a means for us to be able to bring in additional revenues that we know we will not get from the legislature. And that's why our decision is firm in that sense. If they'll give us $370 million, then yes.
Thank you, Dr. Wonpak. Thank you, Dr. Wonpak. Okay, so we have a motion to recall the original resolution the board had passed and to act on the second recommended resolution. So, shall we begin? All those who would like to do that, please make a motion to do that. I think that would be the simplest way to act on these matters, to recall the first resolution and operationalize the second resolution. Is there a motion to do so? Yeah, you already made, all right. There's a second? Any more discussion? If none, are we ready to vote? All right. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, also for the sake of transparency, we would like to see that MOA
Yeah.
once it's already translated into tomorrow.
Okay.
So we are satisfied that this agreement is between GDOE and the administration of Finijakan tomorrow, so it doesn't come back again to haunt us and say the board did not support Finijakan. And that's the basis of
to ensure that we have that.
Member Fedenko, is that we had a group that says we want this. The administrator was here and says he supports this, but now that they've got another thing that's come up, we want to see that. So we want something to fall back on.
Absolutely.
That we're only following the request this time again of the administrator of Finijakan.
All right. Thank you. So Superintendent, make sure that we have that. Thank you. All right, let us proceed. We're at number 3 here, resolution number 202603, relative to urging the Guam Department of Education to consider reintroducing and requiring civics education at the middle school and high school levels, and to establish a GDOE civics recognition program. I'd like to request, if I may, to entertain a motion and then have a discussion. And I'd like to ask the superintendent to give us a little background on what her team has done with respect to this possibility. So do I hear a motion on the to pass the resolution? Motion? Yes.
Make a motion to accept or approve the resolution number 2026-03 relative to urging the Guam Department of Education to consider reintroducing and requiring civics education at the middle and high school levels, and to establish a GDOE civics recognition program.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Is there a second? Motion, please.
Second.
Dr. McNish? Yes. Thank you. There's a second to the motion. Okay, discussion. Before we discuss it, I'd like to ask the superintendent to give us a little briefing on what her office has been doing with her team.
I'm going to ask Dr. Liwa, because she did the research looking at our current curriculum and how it is being addressed.
Please come forward. Thank you, Dr.
Madam Chair, because I brought this up with the IBOGS that attended the IBOGS meeting yesterday, they're in support. They want to see this. So IBOGS that were there yesterday, not all of them, but they're in support to have this in the DOE. Thank you.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Superintendent Dr. Judy Wanpet. So in regards to the civics education, we just want to let you know that in high school we do have civics course that is being offered to the students in between 9th grade to 12th grade. We do have also standards that show civics from K to 12 as well. However, we see the importance of this resolution as being not reintroduction, but to strengthen the integration of civics education. So we kind of like asked to change the title from the first title to relative to strengthen the integration of civics education at the Guam Department of Education, middle and high schools. And from here, we recognize that based on my research that there are other districts in the United States that do offer civics and middle school. And so we looked at the different courses or subjects that are offered in the middle school, and we would like to integrate this civics to our U.S. history in 8th grade So instead of naming the course as US history, it will become civics and US history. So that's one of the things that we may move forward once this resolution is approved.
Madam Chair? Madam Vice Chair?
Does any board member have any questions?
Yes, I do. Doc, when was civics discontinued in the curriculum of history? When? The reason why I'm asking, I taught civics, and I really enjoyed that. And it really caught me by surprise to hear that it was discontinued, so that's the question. When was it discontinued and why was it discontinued?
So I don't think it is discontinued. It is to strengthen the course, the civics education by including it in the middle school. But as I have said earlier, it is offered in the high school. Civics alone is a standalone course that is offered to the high school students. And so now we will be expanding it to the middle school.
Ma'am, because I taught it in the middle school. So go back again to the question. When was it discontinued? That what was being taught in the series of history? What was being taught then in the middle school? Geography, right? What else?
So I believe that, I don't have the list right now, but I believe that in sixth grade, we do have the geography, and then in seventh grade, we do have the history, and then the eighth grade or world history in the seventh grade, if I'm not mistaken, and the US history in the eighth grade. So what we are talking about is really making sure that civics is included in together with the US history in eighth grade. That is something that we're going to take a look at.
Yeah. Civics encompasses just about, except for geography, it encompasses just about everything that would have, and then it will be reinforced when they get up to the high school, and especially in their senior year. Yeah, so I was rather very surprised when Dr. Butters brought this to my attention. I didn't even know. And another thing, and I don't know whether it's you or Jackie, when I was at DYA, I saw kids writing, and they were all in penmanship. Again, penmanship. Talked to you about this, right? And then I want to know when. Let me just ask this question. On the back, for you students, how many of you are currently writing in cursive? How many of you? They don't. Okay, there's the answer. Only one, two. Why was it good? When you get an application, ma'am, on the left side it says print your name. On the right side it says your signature. So what do? Print your name again? Because these poor kids, they don't know. And they've got to be taught the variety. So I'm not going to stop bringing this issue up. So I hope that you will consider it then. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Adam, to answer your question about when did you stop teaching, you said in the middle school, but I taught civics as well, but it was in the 9th grade. And that was when we were operating as a junior high school. So in 1982, when we switched to middle school concept, then it changed then to geography, world history, and US history. Civics continued to remain in the 9th grade in the high school.
May I make a couple comments on this topic? First of all, I want to thank the superintendent and the team for looking at this very carefully. you know, in my interactions with people I meet that I know and people I don't know, they always bring this up. How come our children are not learning civics? How to be good citizens? How to contribute as good citizens to society? And so I started thinking about it, and I said, you know, I had civics in high school. Most of us did, and also in the equivalent of middle school. Why did it stop? Why was it no longer important? And I couldn't find a justification or a reason. So that's why I made this recommendation to be considered by the board and also our superintendent to look into this. And we had a committee meeting last week, and we were able to discuss this. And working with the management team and the superintendent, discussing it, sort of came up with the idea, let's combine it with government. It's very much related to government at the high school level. And it's important for our young children and our students to know the laws of Guam, the expected behaviors in society, how to contribute to a strong community starting at a very early age, and to be involved in the affairs of state and the affairs of the community and the island, no matter where they go in the future. Having a civics background is very, very important. And I think we've been missing that on our island for too long. And it has not helped our young people learn how to contribute effectively at a younger age in the democracy that we live in. So that was one of the reasons that I had asked the superintendent and our colleagues on the board to look at reviving this in our schools. The key is going to be the curriculum for it. It has to be a very strong curriculum. And of course, the board would want to see that in the future, what it will look like. And we'd like to see this begin soon, very, very soon. And that's why we had this resolution for tonight. So with that in mind, if there's no more discussion on it.
I have discussion.
Unless there is some discussion, yes, please. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting two different pictures here, okay? You're saying that there's gonna be new curriculum, new subjects. Does that include new textbooks? That's what I'm getting, right? And the standards that was given by associate superintendent has civics riddled throughout from kindergarten on. To be a good citizen and learn how to share and be a nice person happens in kindergarten. So I think civics is equally as important as what you're saying. I totally agree with you. But I fear that now we are adding more to what already exists. Civics is being taught, standards of civics from kindergarten through 12th grade.
I think we don't.
And they're being taught. There's standards, and if we can debate on if they're not or if they are. But if you're gonna ramp up a new civics program through K, through first or middle school, through high school, whatever, you also need to have uniformity. When you leave it to the person to Google what part of civics they want to teach and what they don't. So developing a curriculum and developing a textbook and paper and all testing of this requires one, money, and two, fortitude and time. And you're incorporating that time when the standards happen throughout the schools. I'm not against it, board members, but I'm just worried that it's gonna be willy-nilly, like I've seen over my 33 years of Google something and teach it, and civics is done without having standards aligned into a specific thing,
Well, just
since we're a standards-based program now.
Just a little response. We discussed this during the meeting, and Dr. Juan Pat took us on the course of action to make this possible. So I'd like to ask her to share her ideas with respect to this.
Well, based again on the research I know that Dr. Lee did, is that although yes, and the curriculum it does state that throughout K to 12, it is being taught. And Mr. Fedenko is correct about, not having any standard curriculum, so to speak. I know that there was a program that was a federal program that was started by the judiciary, similar to civics, but it's called, I think, Know the Law. And when they ran out, of course, of funding, then we didn't see the program continue, but I know that the materials are still with the department. If we're going to create a separate subject matter of civics, let's say in the 9th grade in high school, is that you are correct that, we would have to go through a process of having the curriculum committee, come up with, what should be included in the curriculum. Then we need to set up the curriculum textbook committee so that then we would have to do the research in terms of what, textbooks that the teachers who are going to teach it in high school would pilot some of these different textbooks to be able to adopt them. And then much later on, of course, once that happens, then there would be the need, I know, to request for additional funding to do that. It does not, however, stop, any of our teachers who are currently teaching it under civics program to continue with it. It would not prohibit in the middle school, especially if you want to incorporate it into, yes, the U.S. History. Definitely not. And that goes with all subject areas anyway, where teachers, usually what you do with U.S. history is that you want to be able to not just talk about the United States itself, but you want to then incorporate, bring in Guam as a U.S. territory. So that then would be like an offshoot of what the U.S. history is all about. So, we all know this as teachers, is that, there are various topics that we can bring in, tie it to, of course, our curriculum to show the relationship, how one affects, the other. But the formal process is exactly what I described earlier that Mr. Fedenko, yes, is talking about. So it will not, and Dr. Lee was saying, is not going to be prohibitive at all to start this conversation. And even actually, I would think the best would be to actually work with the school principals to talk to their history department to be able to see whether this is something that could be done in a small scale or something that could be done in addition to, and then much later to incorporate it in their program. And then should it become a full-fledged course, then we need to go through the process as described, in the department policy.
Yes.
I support this, and with Dr. Wampat and your new management team, it will go forward. And I understand the CNMI public school system have this. When my granddaughter was attending a middle school here, and then she went up to a high school, a private, she was shocked that they didn't have civics when she was at public school. So we need to do this. A lot of it in the States too. If I send you all those NASB, you can see that they're going into this, they're taking a strong stand on civic education. So I think we need to move forward. Let's put our confidence in Dr. Wampat and her team that they're moving forward, and this is going to happen. And I know that they're so good. Of course, there's going to be some resistance, but it is for the students. Because if my granddaughter went known at the middle school, she won't have that difficulty when she went to a private high school. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to note that what is identified on the agenda doesn't match the resolution. So the resolution on the agenda is urging the Guam Department of Education to consider reintroducing, and the resolution that presented is relative to strengthen the integration of civics education. So I think we need to have some alignment between what we're approving and what's on the agenda. And so considering that, so that we don't run into difficulty, I'm gonna suggest that we table this until the next meeting.
All right, until the reconciliation occurs.
Yeah, we need to reconcile this because even the title should be relative to strengthening
Okay.
instead of strengthen, and then there's a be it resolved on the bottom that needs to be cleaned up. But I just think we need to align it in order for us to not run into any difficulty.
Is there any objection? All right, let's reschedule it for the next meeting, and Dr. Wontak will work on the reconciliation of the resolution title and content to make sure that they align. All right, thank you very much. Yes. let's-
Remember during the.
Is there a motion?
That is my motion to table this.
Okay. All right, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everyone objecting? All right, we will take this up again at the May meeting, and we'll have the revised resolution title and content before us as we do that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that. Number D. Yes, okay. Before we proceed, I'd like to ask everyone here first to join me in recognizing a very active member of the board who has completed her term. And that's our dear member, Lisa, who's up here, Santu, Belly. Yeah. We'd like to first thank you so much for your service on the board these last few years. Been tremendous as a member. And I think some of the board members would like to say a few words with respect to our board member who's now sort of left us because her term ended. But we don't want it to go unrecognized, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Mary, would you like to say a few words for our board member, for her service? You worked very closely together, I know.
I'm not leaving until December. No, I'm still running. Feli, thank you so much for the services that you have put in as a board member. It wasn't easy. It was there are times I'm sure that you cannot sleep at night thinking what will be your decision, but you have stand strong in what you believe. And as a board member, Estrada's gonna say it's longer than me, it's okay. But we're gonna miss you. Thank you so much. I know that you're still involved in the community, and that doesn't stop you from offering your support and help to the Department of Education. Thank you for being with us, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Si Diyos mahasi. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mary. Ron.
Thank you, Ms. Feli. It was certainly a pleasure to serve with you, and we hope you'll continue to serve on our G2E subcommittees and other related items in the near future. You're always welcome to come and join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Dr. Plata.
I just want to say thank you, Ms. Valley, for your contribution, not just to us as board members, but to the students here at the Guam Department of Education, and more importantly, to our community. So just Masi.
Very nice. Pete.
Thank you very much. When I walked in, normally I have Freddie sitting to my left. And I looked at the sign and I said, hey, what happened? So anyway, now it's clear. Freddie, thank you very much for your contribution. You and I share a lot of discussion, and sometimes I take your advice when I make my final decision. God bless you in all that you do.
Mr. Sablan.
Hi, Ms. Peli. I just want to answer Member Ada. Well, you had that angel next to you. Now you have this angel next to you. That I grant you, yes. Ms. Peli, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for your years of service to GDOE, our school system. But I'm hoping that if it happens that you accept a reappointment to the board. I know you have a lot of good ideas still left, a lot of energy to continue serving. And if it's allowable for you to be reappointed, I would certainly hope that you come back to serving our board again. But we love you and we thank you for always being here and being the sound and sane voice of the board in times of controversy, in times of disagreement, and in times of just being there made us all feel better that we had you around. So, Ms. Philly Angel, thank you so much. And God bless you and Godspeed.
Yes, Tim.
Yeah, good luck, Miss Angel, in your future, and thanks for always keeping me calm, sitting by my side here. Hopefully, Mr. Sublime will do the same.
And I guess I have to say a few words, right? Or, oh no, sorry, Dr. Pat, please. I'll finish? Okay, all right, so to speak. Well, you know, it's a great pleasure to know Feli, very student oriented, very pro-student, very, very concerned about the welfare of our schools and everyone who works in our schools. Contributed a lot to this board. And this is someone that we look up to and for input, always giving us valuable input, and very smart about education and education issues. Feli, don't be a stranger. Please come on Zoom and visit us frequently. And don't feel reluctant to give your input even on Zoom during different parts of the public participation section of the meeting. By the way, I want to mention something, and I know Feli supports this, and I want to recognize her for that. And Dr. Wampat and I spoke about this the other day, and this is something important to our school system and to our island and to our fellow islanders in our neighboring Northern Marianas and in the FSM, particularly in the state of Chuuk. We would like to let the people of the Northern Marianas know that if they're able to, and if they feel there's a need for their children at this very difficult time for them and for the people of Chuuk to continue their education, we would gladly accept them to come to Guam temporarily to attend our schools with our students from Guam so that they can continue their education. And then when they are able to return back home to the Northern Marianas into their school system, we will ensure that they have a certification as to what courses they took, what grade they were in, how long they were in our schools, so they don't miss out on their education year. We would also like to encourage parents on Guam and those who would be willing to sponsor any of the students in the Northern Marianas whose parents would like them to come to Guam to attend our schools temporarily, to be like foster parents to these children so that they can come. Dr. Wampat, we spoke about it, and I asked her to consider talking to sponsors for helping the children to come here, such as United Airlines donating a flight to bring children from the Northern Marianas and Chuuk to Guam, so we can accommodate them here if they have sponsors. And also our federal friends, particularly the Coast Guard, to help bring the children here to attend our schools if they need to do that. Yesterday I met with some former classmates from high school that I was in who come from the Northern Marianas, especially from Saipan. And it's just very, very difficult. It's so difficult for them and their children right now. So if there's something that we can do in our school system to make it easier for them while they try to rebuild their lives, to take their children here, to come to our schools, we would be honored to assist them in any way we can. And Dr. Wampat, I'm sure, would like to do this, and our whole team would like to do this. This is what Islanders do. We care about each other, no matter where they are. So this is something we can help with, and I'd like to encourage the board members to please support this. This is just sort of a spur of the moment kind of idea, but it's really important because these children need help right now. And it's learning, not to lose learning opportunity, not to fall behind in school. So we're here, we'd like to invite them, and we'd ask our principals and our teachers and our school families to please reach out and support these children if they're able to come. Thank you very much. Any input from board members?
Hey, Dr. Winters, can I say something?
Yes, please, Spelly.
All right, thank you so much, my colleagues, but before we go further, can I please borrow 2 minutes of your time to just review my gratitude as well. So buenas, happy day, everyone. As I am finishing my contract of more than 5 years as a member of the Guam Education Board, I have a nostalgic feeling. But definitely, I am filled with immense appreciation and gratitude for the opportunity to work with you and for you. As an educator for so many years in the Philippines and here in Guam, teaching has been my passion, my life, and the students always come first. The fruitful experiences I have gained have propelled me forward and have given me the strength to navigate life at this point of time as a semi-retired, since I continue to serve as an adjunct instructor for the University of Guam. Reduce maasi for all my fellow members of the Guam Education Board, past and incumbent. Your dedication and commitment to our students and the whole of the Guam Department of Education has strengthened our initiatives and advocacies. Maraming salamat to all the members of our school community, the district leadership team with Dr. Judy Wampat at the helm, the administrative teams, faculty, and staff in all our public schools as you continue to serve and make a difference in the lives of our students. Mahalo to our beloved parents and community partners in education for your incredible support. Your voices are heard, and we continue to work and deliver. A big thank you to our dear students for being resilient and flexible in the midst of all these apparently insurmountable challenges. We want you to be safe. We want you to finish your education and be worthwhile contributors in our island community and beyond. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be of service in this capacity. This is Peli Angel or Angel signing off as the Guam Education Board member, but remains as a committed student advocate. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Very memorable. Thank you, Feli, so much. We'll stay in contact with you. You're always welcome to join our meetings. Thank you. Board members, so we're going to continue. Yes, the Safe and Healthy School Committee. We're going to get a report from the Safe and Healthy Schools.
Yeah, thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Griffiths.
Okay.
We have been having Zoom meetings with Dr. McNinch and Carl Torres on a number of issues. One is the elevator at Southern High School. Two, the rental of common areas in the schools owned by and operated by the GDOE, rental for the community's use. The last one is the swimming pool and the athlete ground area in the Southern High School. I had spoken a number of times with Dr. Julie Yajoa Heath, and I'd like to call her, please, to give you and enlighten you. What has she found? Some of them are very interesting. It may not need any action, but again, well, eventually, after all this is completed, we're going to be turning it over to the policy committee to adhere to the executive committee. Okay, Dr. Heath.
Good evening, Madam Chair and the members of the board. Thank you. So in our meetings for the Safety and Health Education Committee, we've talked about the rental, the possibility of rental of some facilities like the swimming pool and the auditorium at Southern High. And as I have communicated that perhaps we need to have a board policy to be able to do that, as well as adjudicating the fees, should there be a fee. And that's for the auditorium and the swimming pool, and the possibilities of, like for instance, the swimming pool. We had a discussion that perhaps whoever is interested in the swimming pool, they can refurbish it or redo the whole thing if necessary, because it's been a long time. I don't think it's ever been used. So we'll renovate it, rebuild it, modernize it, and apply that to the rental agreement. So the board will have to come up with a policy as such, and prefer, I believe the first thing we need to do is establish a committee or a task force to have that and solidify the policy. So the auditorium, I just a little bit about the auditorium. We hope to get it complete. We're looking at the two big items, ticket items in the auditorium, is the chiller system. The chiller system needs to be replaced, as well as our fire alarm system. It needs to be re-inspected and approved by the fire department. Other than that, it's fairly clean. The chairs just needs to be, what do you call that, clean, deep clean. Now we talked about the safety. And one of the things that's already out, we generated the scope of work for a high-powered solar lights for all the break-ins. And I think Dr. Wonpad will review the dashboard, but it shows you that the priority will be the school that has the most break-ins, which is Finagayan and MU Lujan, the first two. But the scope of work is out there, and we are getting requests for quotes. And with the support of DFAS, we hope to have it, that we will provide the GL account to move forward with this. And fencing. I want to report in the fencing that I think most of them are complete, other than Tiyan and the pairs. So that is part of the safety that we discussed. I believe that's it.
What about the school?
Elevators.
School use.
School rental use.
You know, the schools are community owned, And sometimes in the past, it's been done, they want to have an activity outside of the student. So they rent the space of the school with limitations, of course. But we also have to make sure that the safety is paramount, and also that the money will go directly to the school. But that will have to be by policy.
I believe there is a policy.
Yes.
I believe it's a 602. I don't recall. And that addresses that part.
There is a policy, existing policy 620. It just needs to be updated
Yes.
and, reworded amendment, but there is an existing. Now, on the lead school, that's different, but there is a board policy, and I think some schools are letting some outside sports organization use their gym, so I don't know if they're collecting, Deputy Franklin, check it out, because I don't know where's the funding go for those rental, when I know when my granddaughter said, who she reused, there's an organization that rents the gym, so but it's a board policy existing. Thank you.
Okay, can you enlighten us about the elevator in the southern?
So the Southern High elevator is working, and we communicated with Otis today, and we are going to do a walkthrough with all the campuses next month, and throughout the summer we're going to do look at all the things that needs to be done. A majority of our elevators requires modernization, and modernization is a high ticket item, and we hope to get that report to the board probably next month.
Okay, am I hearing you correctly? Right now, they're working, but it has to be work upgrade, thank you,
Correct.
upgraded, right? So how many elevators at Southern High School are currently working?
Just one.
One.
Correct.
Okay. The other 6, are there different vendors that install that? Because I made to understand it was even recommended to demolish the entire elevator and put in a new one.
Correct. There's several of them, and that's why we're working with Otis and that, so that we really understand, because there's 2 things going on with the elevators. There's certain areas, and during the inspection list, the vendor is responsible for, and there's about approximately 5 or 6 items that F&M is responsible. So we want to make sure that is clear. I know Otis has ordered parts for the generator, elevators. And so that's Otis. And then we have, I think it's Oceana is the other vendor. So we have 2 vendors, but majority of our elevators are from Otis.
3.
3.
There's 3.
There's Northern.
Yeah, but I don't know who
Yes.
the other one is.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Chair, you've heard the report. We will continue. This is not the end. And this concludes the Health and Safety Committee report.
Yes. Yes, Ms. Gutierrez.
I just want to share with my colleagues that I am very happy when I passed by Finnegarden Elementary School on Monday, because the fence are shining because they're brand new. And according to the principal, Mr. Melvin Fenonia, they complete the installation, but the vendor needs to remove the old fencing materials. So thank you, tell your employee, your F&M, thank you so much, because now the dogs will not go underneath the fence. It was really, if you want to see a nice fit, I know Dr. Castobar will be happy because the fence is facing his house. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Gutierrez, I have a question on the fencing. I noticed at GW, they put up the old fence. It's not a new fence. Are we aware of that? Or was that part of the contract? Not to do anything to GW? Oh, they're not finished yet? They're not included?
Correct.
Why not? We don't have enough money? Well, I pass there every day, and I look at the fence. It's standing up, but it's the old fence. I just want to bring that to your attention. Thank you very much.
I just want to let the board know that F&M during Mawar had identified schools that, you know, their fence had been knocked down or damaged during the typhoon. So unfortunately, not all schools, you know, were accepted in the FEMA award. So GW, unfortunately, is not one of them. I'm sorry, Mr. Fulo. But it was totally dependent on, you know, FEMA and, of course, our facilities people who identified which schools, school principals actually identified it. It was validated by F&M and then, of course, sent to FEMA.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. I do recall last time, 3 years ago, that fence was on the ground, most of it. So they put back the old fence. Thank you. Yes, they stood it up. Okay. All right, we understand. Let us proceed. Now, the item that we have to deal with at this point, because there are folks that have to leave very urgently, is to recognize our awardees, ladies and gentlemen. We have to do it out of order because we don't want people to have to stay because they have other events and activities they're committed to. So we're going to do a little awarding today. And today we're going to start with Tiyan High School. And we're going to recognize the group website category first place and the group performance category second place. And then we'll move to the other awardees for today. So we'd like to invite our representatives from Tiyan High School for the first group, the group website category first place, Jalen, Masca, and Kaela Santos to please come up. We'd like to recognize you. Is this one? Is this one? Oh, who's not able? Oh, really? So, yes. Thank you, girl. Isabella's here? Oh, yeah. Okay. This one. Okay. So Isabella, please come up. Isabella Tyrone. And board members, please join me as we recognize our students. I'd like to ask our board chairman to please come up also. And our vice chair to come up and everybody to come up and join us. Dr. Wonka, please join us. Principal, please join us. Sophie, come on up. You know, we're very excited and honored to do this today. To recognize our students for their fabulous work and commitment to do good things. And one of the students is with us today, Isabella Tyrone. And we want to congratulate you, Isabella, for winning and getting second place in the group performance category at the Guam History Day competition. It's a great honor for you and your family, and also for our school, Tiyan High School, and for our Department of Education. And so I'd like to present this to you on behalf of the Board of Education. Thank you so much. All right, great. Thank you very much. All right. And now we're going to do the Tiyan High School People's Choice. And we have Jacob Abella and Veronica Mesa. Please come forward. And please hold this one first. And then we have Veronica's here. You can hold your other hand. And we also have one for Tiyan High School for Mrs. Guenas for your school. So we like to recognize the students doing the wonderful work here. This was quite an achievement also. The Chamorro Culinary Competition. Did you have to teach us? What did you have in the menu for the competition? Oh, the Nancy is my favorite. It's so good. But whatever you guys came up with, it won. So congratulations to you. Congratulations. Keep up the good work and let them know that we're thinking of them, even though they couldn't be here today. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Okay. Oh my goodness. Now we're getting into Tiyan High School Air Force Junior ROTC. Outstanding performance certificates to Cadet Jimmy Cruz, Aaron Hoffman, and Lily Beck. From the Air Force Junior ROTC, Point Cadet Logan Pablo. Please come up.
Lily. No, she's not.
She's not here.
Yeah, I don't see Lily.
Miss Wayne, do you know Lily? Come on up. Lily.
Oh, Colonel. Colonel can take it.
Jimmy, where are you? Congratulations, Jimmy. Very nice. And Aaron? He's not here? Okay, Mrs. Williams would like to hold Aaron. Thank you. Cadet Logan Pablo? Not here either? Oh, that's you. Congratulations. And we also have another certificate for Tiyan High School, congratulating the school on 100% grade and exceed standards rating during the headquarters Air Force Junior ROTC unit assessment. 100%. Okay, so now we have more certificates. There's a lot of them here from the Tiyan High School Air Force Junior ROTC. This is for getting first place Armed Inspection Division, second place Unarmed Duo Exhibition, Division 3, third place Unarmed Regulation Division, fourth place Armed Color Guard Division, fifth place Armored Duo Exhibition, eighth place Armored Regulation Division, and third place overall award at the Pacific Regional Drill Meet in Oahu, Hawaii. So as I call your names, gentlemen and ladies, please come forward. First of all, one for overall for the high school again. Duenas is gonna run out of wall space to put up the certificates on the wall.
We'd also like to recognize Colonel Frank Florence,
All right, come on up, all of you.
retired colonel.
So I have these certificates here, and as I call your names, please come up. Ryan Advincula. Ryan. Boy, I really love men in uniform. They're so nice. Very nice. Very nice. Racel Asistoris. Racel. Not here today? Okay. Lily Beck. Not here either. Okay. Aiden Versay. Please join us. Anthony Carbolito Cuenca. Nicholas Chargaloff. Then we have Jimmy Cruz Jr. Congratulations, Jimmy. God bless you. Jonathan Fliss. Congratulations. Then we have Marianne Quinto. Congratulations to you. Gabriel Quinto. Congratulations, Gabriel. Yeah, take care. DeHaven Santos. Gumalan Santos. That's supposed to speak then. Yeah, okay, thank you. Carrera Hernandez. Carrera, okay. Congratulations to you, Sue. Kyra Hernandez. Congratulations to you. Michaela Hernandez. Aaron Hoffman. Is not here today, okay. Devoni James. Congratulations to you too. Lucia Lowe. Congratulations to you. Tiyan Mandiola. Alira Munoz. Logan Pablo. Caden Peter. Vincent Kinata III. Alisa Quintanilla. Congratulations. Savannah Kitahwa. Savannah, congratulations. Gavin St. Nicholas. Aliana Tyrone. Congratulations. Wow, this is amazing. Congratulations to all of you.
And like I said, we want to also recognize the leadership of retired Colonel Frank Flores, who's nurtured all these students to become who they are and what they are. And folks, if you notice, they're all wearing the new Tiyan Titans uniform. And if you haven't heard yet, you'll probably hear it today. You will continue to wear that uniform because there will continue to be a Tiyan Titans High School. Chief Tidegree, where are you? Oh, well, let's recognize him as well. Chief, congratulations, and thank you for your service. Air Force. Yeah. What?
You guys can come closer if you guys want to. Don't have to be back there.
And a big hand to all these parents as well and family. Yes. Just as you are proud, we are proud.
recognizing our students at Ontalan Middle School for their exceptional achievement in dedication to the junior division of the National History Day Guam competition. I would like to read their names to you so that you know who they are. We have students Mirando Murato, Abriel Charkafris, Janea Nebris, Kikoa Godoy. We have also Gabriel Bacani, Gabby Simon, Isaac Presencia, Glenn Eating Jr. We have Ocean Palakiko, Nathan Sebastian. We have Azalea Babata, Saidi Meno, Kaliana Smau. We have Randy Ratuyan, Catherine Sarasola, Erica Paulino, Olivia Tarayama, Howen Lee, Rexfani Caesar, Mayana Yalomar, Noah Guzman, and Kevin Z. And we also have an overall certificate for the school itself, for the principal to display. You know, with all these awards, I'm sure our principals are running out of wall space for all the certificates they're getting, right? But we'd like to recognize them. This is for your wonderful students, and this is for you. And thank you. Let's get a picture together, everybody. Please come forward.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is my former school I taught at Ontalan. And Tiyan also. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and this is another certificate we have for Inatan Leon Guerrero Dun. Done. I'm sorry. This is for publishing the first book, Ambitions as a Writer. And this is really an amazing accomplishment for such a young person. To publish a book showcasing early passion for storytelling. We want to congratulate.
You need Mr. Dex? Dex, let me have your camera, Dex. You need-
Okay. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay, we have another presentation. This one. This is wow. This is for Janessa Aliri. Congratulations on getting accepted to Princeton University. Our school system is great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. We're honored that you'll be representing our IBOGS and the Guam Department of Education and the people of Guam at Princeton University.
One, two, three. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. There's another, okay. Well, here's another one. This one is for winning the 2026 Guam Scripps Regional Championship, Francis Luya. Bring your parents or family with you, come on up. This is amazing.
Principal, and Vice Principal Dennis. Hello. Hello. I'm Tiyan. Yes.
All right. So here we have Francis. Look what this young man has done. Won this wonderful recognition for the Guam Scripps Regional Championship. So Francis, I'm sure this will be the beginning of many recognition and certificates for you. Keep up your interest in learning. Represent Guam well, and have a wonderful life. You're welcome. Congratulations to the family. Okay. Oh, wow. This is a real interesting one. We have a student here who won first place at the Sodesco Future Chefs Challenge. And this is for Hersian Stephen. Hersian, come on up. Wow. And I'm going to ask Hersian a question. Hersian, congratulations. So Hersian, tell us, and Mom, tell us also, what dish did you cook that was first place? Lasagna. Oh, my favorite. I'm jealous. I want to try it out in the future. But congratulations to you, son. We're very proud of you, and you have a great future. And let us know the next time you get Now, this is a recognition for one of our schools and all of their school family, all the teachers, all the aides, all the administrators, all the staff, the PTA, everybody. This is for Liguan Elementary School. Congratulating them on getting an A grade in your Department of Public Health and Social Services sanitation inspection. Thank you for getting that. And I hope that the school can teach the other schools how to do that. That's wonderful. Congratulations. Wow. Yes, everybody that helped you along the way. wonderful certificate displays. Congratulations, everybody. Okay. Okay. This is for Astumbo Middle School. That took first place at the 2026 Fino Chamorro Cultural Competition. And I'd like to recognize through these certificates Jehaven Diwa, Trayton Meno, Abigail Pangilinan, Shakia Medina, Alilia Quintanilla, Gian Meno, John Terry Payne, Xylis Nicholas, Jasmine Ogden, Sophia Almonte, Mia Cruz, Mania Rojas, Rue Finch, Michael Titano, Jaibert Diwa, Ashton Nelson, Denise Nicholas, Matthew Paragas, Blaise Afflegui, Jonathan Parrish, Kenneth Sababoro, and Paulina Costa, advisor. Yes, there's wonderful people. You're good. All right, let's get a picture.
Over here, one.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. So we're back to safe and healthy school committee, okay? Policy review and strategic planning committee. Is there a report from the committee?
So we have some policies that were reviewed, but they'll be presented at the next meeting.
The next meeting, okay. Fiscal management committee, GDOE, the DOE financial report. Dr. Papa.
So Madam Chair, in your packet, there is information regarding the GDOE finances, starting off with the accounts payable aging report, indicating a total amount of local aging vendors, and then a total amount of federal funds. So in the current column, you have 709,000, 31 to 60 days, 161,000, 61 to 90 days, about 132,000, over 90 days, about 500,000, and the grand total is of 1.5 million. And the DFAS and his team is continuing to work through specifically those, or all of them, but more attention to those that are over 90 days. And the committee went through all of these outstanding bills, and just as to note, there is a significant improvement on the payment of accounts payable for the department. The second report, we don't have any information on the declaration of financial status, so there must not be anything to provide for this meeting. The unaudited statement of appropriation expenditures and encumbrances for fiscal year 2026 is in your packet, indicating the amount of the original appropriation, money received from BBMR, the available cash balances, and GDOE expenditures and encumbrances. And so the board members of this committee did review this information as well, and has provided any questions to DFAS and the group. And the final report that is in your packet is the grant status report for fiscal year 2026. And in this report, it identifies, based on all the grants that are currently active, a total amount of funding available or available budget of $777,241,632. And so this information was also reviewed by the committee, and questions were asked associated with this. There is another report that was provided to the committee, and this is the status of the expired grants as of April 2026. And we just want to highlight, and this is directly off the G5, we just want to highlight that based on this report that shows expired grants and any requests for late liquidations, that the department failed to spend $21,826,966. And if you recall, back in April 1st, 2025, these expired grants, including some of these specifically, were brought to the attention of the management team at the time, and we were given full assurance that we would not lose any of this funding. I want to highlight specifically that what has expired under ESF2 was approximately $4.4 million. ARP funding, which was awarded in 2021, of about $3.4 million. But what is quite puzzling is CG21 and CG22. CG21 is about 1.9 million, CG22 is 5.4 million. So this is funding that the department lost because they did not adequately encumber and liquidate. But also of interest at the time was the funding that was provided to SPED. There is SPED B, fiscal year 19, fiscal year 22, SPED ARP, and SPED C, fiscal year 22 and 23, which in total is approximately almost $5.5 million. Just want to note that this is what these are the grants that were brought up more than a year ago for the most part, and this is the results of the efforts that were made or non-effort made associated with assuring that each of these grants were expended and used as provided by the department. So we just wanted to note this for the record because these grant funds, or the loss of these grant funds, is prior to Dr. Wampat and her team coming on board in January. And that's all I have in terms of the GDOE financial report, subject to any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Dr. Okada. Of course, we're very concerned about this, and we never want to see this happen again, ever. And despite the best efforts of the board to remind the department officials at that time that they had to act on these matters, apparently nothing occurred to save this money. Yes. Peter.
To the best of your knowledge, Dr. Okada, is a Tiny Eye Services continuing to serve our students?
Yes, they are, but one thing for the board to note is that because of expired funds, there are obligations to Tiny Eye that could have been paid through the SPED funding that we lost, but because of the timing of the grant closure, it now has to be paid out of local funds for the expired money.
And how much is that?
Approximately $500,000 that we will have to use local funds to pay for obligations that were incurred that were not appropriately charged to the grant funds, but we still have the
Where are you gonna
obligation.
get 471,000?
That's one of the reasons we're at the legislature today, to get them to give us the unrestricted funds of our prior year lapses. We have to use local money now. It's unfortunate.
Did they say that if they're not paid, they will discontinue their services?
I can tell you that Tiny Eye out of Canada has been admirable, unbelievably patient. They've never said that to us.
Okay.
They said, please get your finances in order. We will continue servicing you.
They said, we will continue our services.
Yes.
That's good
Uninterrupted.
enough for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The next item on our agenda is the legislative committee. And in terms of legislative proposals introduced, Dr. Wonpak, could you assist us with this? Oh, I did skip something. Oh, I'm sorry, U.S. Department of Education Specific Conditions Report. Okay, Dr. Wonpak.
Okay, well, so we have received a response from the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Planning, Evaluation, and Policy Development regarding our request for a meeting to discuss GDOE's high-risk status. On-site review of the reconsideration evaluation plan is scheduled for this fall. US Ed will verify that GDOE staffing, policies, procedures, and internal controls are providing reasonable assurance that GDOE is managing US Ed grant awards in compliance with federal statutes, regulations, and grant agreements.
So how will you translate that to action?
Well, there's a schedule in which USDOE will be out here to address our high-risk status, and we're working with our consultant, Bruman, who will then, in June, be giving us all of the information that we must respond to and provide the documents necessary for it. We are thinking of making that a Zoom meeting, and then when the USDOE officials come here, then the plan will be to bring out also our consultant who will work with us and US Ed as well for the final evaluation.
Very good. Any questions about that? Okay, let's move to the next item. Fiscal year 2025 audit update. Dr. Wonpak.
I'll have Franklin.
Okay, Franklin.
So the audit is ongoing with Ernst & Young. I can tell you right now on all deliverables, they've established a portal which they ask questions, financial questions for their audit, and we respond. Keeps more accountability, timeliness. We are on schedule or ahead of schedule for all additional information inquiries. We are asking Ernst & Young if they could put more resources on the process, because we're prepared to respond, because we've been told that from the public auditor that as DOE goes, the rest of the line agencies will go. So they're depending on us to finish in as much of a timely manner as we can. We took that to heart. We are pressing hard. Our resources are focused on it. And right now things are running smoothly. We're on schedule or ahead of schedule.
Very good. It's encouraging. Thank you very much. On the management and curriculum audit,
GDOE was provided the opportunity to provide written responses to the issued management audit report by the Pacific Policy Research Center. The PPRC presented its updated final management audit report to GDOE management on April 3rd. There were changes made to the reports. However, none were substantial or changed conclusions made from the previous draft. What we're also doing is that we are giving all of the division heads the opportunity to review them and to make recommendations for recommended actions to be taken.
that's also good news that we're taking into consideration the recommendations.
Mike,
Thank you
please.
very much.
Mike, please.
Now, the next item is the legislative committee. And there's been some legislative activity, perhaps Dr. Wonpak can share that with us. Legislative proposals that have been introduced that impact the department.
Well, there is a Bill 294 that was introduced by Senator Barnett, which was to amend the budget law for a specific section saying that our lapse funds were to be used only for sports facilities. And so he made some amendments to it. That bill, however, has not been heard. Then there's a second bill similar to that, which is Bill 309, which is introduced by Senator Borja. And what that does is that it also would allow the use of the lapse funds then to include expenditures for capital improvement projects, any costs associated with damages from typhoon, improvement and upgrades to the Department of Education, sports facilities and playgrounds, and any other measures in order to ensure compliance with the public health and sanitation requirements, any payment of utility expenses, and procurement of instructional equipment. So he's basically looked at a draft spend plan that we feel would be necessary for us to address many of the immediate concerns. And so he's kind of summarized everything in the language of the bill to then lift or remove that restriction. There's a bill, but somehow it's just not totally related to us, but it was sent to us. And what this is actually is relative to updating the requirements to become a Guam Public Library System Director. And I guess they sent it to us because we have librarians within our school system, and because one of our librarians had actually applied for the director's position of the Flores Memorial Library, so they're updating now the qualification for that position.
Question. Have you heard or are any indications that we are going to be included in the performance-based budget?
Not for this year. As a matter of fact, I heard the senator this morning that he has decided to instead include agencies that have high performance ratings, performance data, and one of them was like the police department in terms of how many cases they have responded to, how many cases maybe that they have resolved, things of that nature. It was much easier to start off. So DOE is not going to be included initially for performance. Yes, that's right, it's not.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Superintendent. And then under section G2, legal counsel for the Guam Education Board. As you know, this item's been on our agenda for a little bit, and I think we're supposed to get some feedback on the best approach to use here. Any ideas or comments? We initially started out, we had written a letter to the Attorney General, as you know, the former chairman signed it, inviting the Attorney General to appoint someone from his office, attorney, to represent the board should the need arise. And to my knowledge, we never received a response to our letter. And then we talked about maybe the need of having someone available to us on call from the private attorney pool, the event of necessity. And we haven't acted on that, although we were talking about doing it, perhaps doing it, but we wanted a little more time.
Do we have, Manager, do we have to comply with the RFP
Yes,
for
we
an
will have to do
on-call?
that. Yes, we will have to do that.
Madam Chair, I'm just concerned right now because of the budget. We didn't fund this. There was no funding, and I would like to, it's not included in the FY27 budget, so I think we should just go slow on that. Because if we have other needs for I prefer that we put this money out to the school. So I'm just concerned because it is not in the, when we did the budget, it was not included.
I think we did ask to include it in the next budget, did we not?
No, it's not. I don't
I thought
recall.
we had done that. But is it in the next budget?
Well, one of the things is that has to happen though first is that the law has to be amended because that part by law is to allow us, right? We're not allowed to hire. What I did have a conversation with my legal team and expressed, of course, the concern of the board. And they are willing to assist, but what you would need to do will be to request Form E for any interpretation or assistance that you need, and then I will go to my legal team since they work under and for, the superintendent.
Yeah.
So they're willing to do that.
So, my observation with all legal counsel of DOE over the board, right now I'm very comfortable with your legal counsel. I think you have a team that really knows how to give guidance and how to interpret the law. So I'm very comfortable with it, and I'm just concerned because we did not budget this at this time. But I have confidence on your legal team. I know them personally, and I know that the work that they do is really to provide us that guidance. And if there's anything that we are doing on the board to let us know, but with your approval. And that's what we did before. There was, it was under the superintendent that was to legal counsel.
Well, I think Mary's
With the
correct.
board legal counsel, we have to go to our RFP. And right now, if this is the only funding that we're gonna be getting from the legislature, I would rather that I see that go up to the school. As long now, that with your team, you, Dr. Wampa, and your team, that you really hold people accountable, because all the years I've been on this board, I was never sued. And the sue is all the lawsuits coming from special ed. And as you heard, the vice chair of the funding the grant that expires, all special ed, because there was no accountability, no one's being co-responsible. So for me, moving forward, I feel that, you and your team will make sure that everybody is being held accountable and not to lose money and not to be sued, because I really don't have money to pay for the lawsuit. And it's true, and I really have confidence in Matt, in Gloria, and with Jesse. So I feel that we had before, and it belongs to the superintendent, but they were able to provide services. So thank you.
Madam Chair.
Okay, yes.
There is no question in anyone's mind, and I'll look this way, that the legal counsel is the Department of Education, the superintendent. That's who they work for. courtesy wise only is what you're offering us. Courtesy. But there comes the time, if something happens, and let me tell you, none of you except Maria was very, very close to being sued. I had to intervene, and by the luck of God, I was able to avoid and it was as a result of death. Okay, so we have to understand the legal counsel is owned by the department, the superintendent. They're only courtesy providing us assistance. We cannot wait for that time because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Thank you.
I have to say, Mary, I appreciate your good remarks. And I also support our GDOE attorneys. However, there are times when conflicts arise where we have to have an independent legal counsel guide us. And there may be a time when we have a disagreement with the department. And we need our representation. So I have a different perspective on this. I think we should, and I will ask the superintendent to assist, to draft a letter from the Board of Education to the Legislative Education Committee Chair, requesting to have an amendment to the law which would authorize the Guam Board of Education to engage a private attorney. I'm sorry? What's that? Oh, you mean from the AG's office, the deputy attorney from the AG's office? Yeah, or that's what I'm saying, a private attorney, or they could also mandate the Attorney General to represent the school board in any matters of legal concern that may require such representation. If it's a private attorney, then we have to be given a budget to have that. And we could probably find out what the recommended amount should be that we should ask for in the amendment to the law. In the letter, we should let them know we did ask the Attorney General, include a copy of the letter that former Chairman Sablon signed, which is a beautiful letter to the Attorney General asking for a legal appointee from his office to represent us. We didn't get a response. We need to let Mr. Barra know that, so he'll understand the context of this. That this is not something we're just asking for to have. But this is because we asked for help from the AG's office to have an attorney assigned to us, and they didn't respond. They were not responsive. So let's get that letter to Mr. Borja as soon as possible. And in the meantime, we'll just keep this on the agenda, but we'll wait to see what kind of response we get from the chairman of the Committee on Education. Then we can move forward. In the meantime, we appreciate your offer of support for now, and we will accept that. But we also would like to follow up with the letter to the chairman of the Committee on Education, making this request for authorization to be able to engage an on-call attorney if needed to assist us in any potential legal matters that require an independent attorney to work with the board. Any comments? Is that okay? Can I get a motion on that? Yes.
At the time that the legal that's why the board had to settle with Fernandez, because I think it depends on it depends on the AG, okay? Because at the time when Fernandez case, we were given assistance under Lisa Barrett Anderson to assist us in that case. And then after that, we really didn't need any attorney. After that, we never had a lawsuit. Then it's the attorney of the board that went against you know, and that's how we lost, so. But Liz Anderson, I think that's the one on that 17th shape, was providing us the assistance with furniture here.
You know, but at the same time, Ms. Gutierrez, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we can be sued at any time by anybody for any reason as a board. And we have to have some kind of representation that can meet the requirements of the courts, the requirements of the law. Otherwise, you know, serious consequences can occur. We can't make mistakes on this. Yes. Okay. Do you want to say something, Dr. O'Connor? No. Okay. So
Can I just quickly respond? If I remember correctly, when I was in the legislature, it was the current OPA who actually had amended the law and provided a provision there that said that the Attorney General will represent the departments and agencies, and that's the reason why it was deleted, or rather prohibit the department from hiring, because they're supposed to come from the Attorney General.
But it didn't, and it doesn't.
Well, at what time they did, but so, and now, of course, whatever the reasons are, I don't know.
Well, we can give them two options in the letter. One is to require the Attorney General to represent the board, or to authorize us to engage an on-call attorney should the need arise for any matters involving the board. Yeah, that would be the best way. We give them the options. Okay. All right. Any objection to that? Do I hear a motion to write the letter? They don't need a motion. Okay, so Dr. Wampat will help draft the letter, and then I'll sign it. We'll give copies to all of you. All right, very good. Now, new business real quick. Textbook audit. Any report?
Yes, we've received the report from the auditors, a public auditor, and we've set up the committee and reconvene actually the textbook committee. And my deputies are actually meeting with them, going over all of the findings and at the same time to make corrective actions as well that's been recommended by OPA.
Madam Chair, Madam Superintendent, one question. Are we looking at alternatives to textbooks such as tablets?
Yes, we are. I mean, we're not going to be purchasing right now textbooks beyond the primary grades for now, because at one time we had purchased over 60,000 laptops. They have been all distributed to the schools. They're currently using them. I know that they have purchased not just textbooks, but actually ebooks. So, and of course with the expiration, or rather the renewal or adoption of textbooks every 7 years, that's what we need to find out, which textbooks are next. But I can't justify actually purchasing any textbooks when currently we got rid of over 100 pallets of textbooks. And then in addition, when we came on board, my deputies are going out to the schools, we're finding that every one of our schools are storing textbooks as well. So in our request, we're only looking at the primary grades. I think it's like first and second and third, I think is where we're going to look at ebooks for that primary grades and nothing else.
All right.
Was Layson. She was calling the schools to get all the textbooks that are not being used. And at the time, during the John Fernandez time, this warehouse back here, that's now the One Place Academy, the DOE was given an opportunity to use that. But so that's where they stored all the textbooks. They call out to the public who wants textbooks, or the private schools, and then ship it out. Now you go to a school, and believe me, And I bet at my last dollar that there's pallets and pallets of textbooks, right, deputies? So there is, because what happened is they double order. They doubled the order, yeah. And so now, yes, with that audit report that you read, I don't know. Now those people that did that were gone. But we have textbook running out of our years.
All right, so, NASB 26, new member institute, Mary, real quick.
The NASB 2026 New Member Institute is July 7th to the 8th in Washington, D.C. We have the NASB fund, PDF fund. And so the only board member that's eligible to go is Carl Torres. There's a new member, the annual conference is in October, but since some of us that are not gonna come back to the board, I don't know if you are gonna go. It's gonna be in Baltimore, but if I decide to go, I will pay my own way. Also, just to let you know, Dr. Wampat, on the NASB PDF fund, the attorney, your legal counsels are members, so please, we paid for their membership, and they should, that was during the James Tech, she was able to enroll the DOE legal counsel. So Matt, you guys are a member of the NCCSO. This is the legal counsel for the Department of for Education Department in all the states. So you guys are on that membership, please. So Dr. Wampat, just to let you know. Thank you. So I would like to ask the board to approve for Mr. Carl Torres to attend the new member institute in the Washington, D.C., July 7th to the 8th, 2026. We will pay cover his airfare and hotel registration. There's no registration fee. The only thing, because we do have balance in our funding to cover him, but we don't provide stipend or per diem. Okay, so just to let you know. So that's my motion to approve.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Second, all those in favor? Any opposed? No objection, motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to not need the executive session today, according to Superintendent. And in addition, the Superintendent's reports are included in your packet of information that was sent to you electronically. And some of the materials also available to you in our little packets here today. So we are recommending that we simply forego today's superintendent report and read the material. If you have any questions, you can communicate with Dr. Wampat until our next meeting, our next regular meeting. And I believe the next item is we've already said, public participation. Is there anyone here for public participation? We've already done public participation, I think. Mr. Angel?
I'm not here for public participation, but before we dispense to the superintendent's report, the public doesn't see that report, we do. I'd like for her to tell us, because we keep reading it in the media, that we are ending double session for JFK and Simon Sanchez High School, for Okodu and FB Young Guerrero. And I just wanted to, because some people have said that because I questioned the merger of these schools at our last meeting, that I was opposed to ending the double session. Furthest from the truth, I want double session to end this school year. All I wanted to do at that last meeting was to make sure that whatever it is that they were doing that was not reported to us when we asked for it is what's good for the schools. Now, again, last week or a couple of days ago, I saw in the media that the final decision is for a merger. Now, I understand that a merger is a misnomer because that's not what we're doing. We're co-locating, and I'll let the superintendent report on that, but I want it on the record that this school year, JFK will have their school back. Simon Sanchez High School will have a location to go to operate as a school full-time. Okadu High School will have its school back, and FBLG Guerrero Middle School will go back to its school. I want that reported out, and I want the public to hear that. Whether we call it merger, whether we call it relocation or whatever, the merger word is what's confusing people. And you heard me earlier, and I told Tiyan Titans that the uniform they're wearing, they'll keep because we'll continue. So before we go into an adjournment, I'd just like Dr. Wampat to put that out because we haven't seen anything, like I said, before the board. Yes.
Well, I'd like to just go ahead and let everyone know that we are having these weekly meetings that's being facilitated by the school principals and with my deputies for both FBLG Middle School and Simon Sanchez High School. So to be clear, is that Simon Sanchez campus has space to house Tiyan High School has space to house Simon Sanchez High School. They will operate with totally separate schedule, master schedule, and they're preparing their master schedules as we speak right now, individually, separately. There is no such thing as a merger or co-blending of any of their programs. They'll be operating very separately. They would have all of their staff in place. So all of the staff of Simon Sanchez will move to Tiyan High School, and more than likely there would be just an imaginary, so to speak, fence where Simon Sanchez will be in one section of the campus and the other section will be Tiyan High School. They would have separate library, separate lounges. It's actually everything is separate. They will keep their uniforms. They will keep their mascots. So none of those would happen. If anything, by any chance, that should they decide to have any type of activities together, that is for the school principals to decide. But our PIO has been informed to speak to the other media personnel to let them know that this is not a merger and that it's just, as she said, a co-locating of two different schools in one campus.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Now that is very, very clear. Viva Simon Sanchez, Viva Tiyan Titans, Viva FBLG Guerrero, and Viva Okra High School. They're all going to have their schools in the beginning of the new school year. Thank you very much.
Weekly with the principals, right? Because the way I also said is some principals, they go out and tell the public, even before you even tell us board members. I think that has to stop, that you guys are going to be together. Because I did not hear anything about merger. That's exactly what you're explaining from a principal. Thank you.
All right. So the next item, adjournment. Yes, is to go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.
There's no
We're
word.
hereby adjourned to our next monthly meeting in May. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, is that how it works? Well, there's not enough. They have to.
May 19th.
May 19th.
Yes.
And one thing before we adjourn, Madam Chair, I'd like to make sure that we put on the agenda the waiver of the additional school days that we need to make up because of Sinlaku. And then we probably, I don't know, there's another storm coming, but I support waiving the additional school day. But we need, of course, it needs legislative action. I don't know when the legislature is going to go into session, but if it's before the end of the school year, then what are we going to do?
I've actually sent a letter already to the speaker and the chairman, letting them know that, you know, what the conditions are in the sense that why we cannot make enough days, giving them the number of days and minutes and how much it's going to cost, and that will be considered a waiver. So, no, there's no waiver. I just sent a letter.
We're not using the record. We're good. Adjourn.